Well, we are following the ever-growing paper trail connected to the ongoing FBI investigation into APD's DWI unit. Down tonight, we have a new letter including concerns about one of the officers under investigation.
And it came from Bernalillo County District Court almost a year after the original internal complaints about the unit. Julie Frindak is digging into this latest piece of information. Julie, what's the significance here?
Well, this is just one more document, including the name of one of the officers we've named in connection to this investigation, and supports the alleged scheme of officers putting offenders in contact with a specific attorney and telling them their case would be dismissed if they hire them. Concern came in plain black and white from Bernalillo County District Court in November. The court's executive officer sent a letter to APD's Civilian Police Oversight Agency about a former court employee's DWI citation in August. The letter says the arresting officer put the offender, Antonio Barone, in contact with a specific attorney, possibly named Rick, and reportedly told Barone if he hired him, the officer would make sure no court case would be filed. Documents show the arresting officer was Honorio Alba Jr., and the case is part of the more than 150 recently dismissed DWI cases. KOB4 already named Alba Jr. in connection to the federal investigation and reported he was the Mad Officer of the Year last year. We went to Barone's home Thursday to see if he was willing to tell his side of the story, but no one answered the door. We sent emails to every current board member of the oversight agency requesting interviews and called the current interim executive director. I'm just wondering if you could answer some questions about protocol, what happened after you obtained this letter, and just a little bit more about your processes. No one got back to us. A representative from District Court said the letter speaks for itself, and the court followed the process for submitting matters according to APD's Internal Affairs website. The court has not had any involvement in the investigation. So again, this is one of many letters that have gone public since we first learned about this federal investigation. City councilors sent one to the chief asking for transparency. Chief Medina sent one to the public defender's office, including allegations about another attorney, Thomas Clear III, and the U.S. attorney sent one to DA Sam Bregman, thanking him for his cooperation. We're still waiting for formal comments from the U.S. attorney and the FBI. Trevor?
All right, Julie, thank you so much. We're also working to learn more about the process of how Albuquerque police officers check in for these court cases. For that, we'll send it over to Tessa and Feliz Romero.
Yeah, so many of you have asked how somebody didn't catch on when these officers were reportedly missing so many court dates. What is the process for officers to check in for those appearances? Well, Feliz Romero spoke with the Bernalillo County Metro Court rep about the system that is in place, what it does and what it doesn't do, Feliz.
Yeah, Tessa, keep in mind that this system wasn't used to track those appearances in the past, but it does help court staff in general know who is and who isn't showing up for court cases. Take you back to 2007. That's when the Bernalillo County Metropolitan Court implemented a new digital officer check-in system.
Now that we hold the majority of hearings virtually, they're able to access that same system from their patrol car, from home, wherever they may be appearing for virtual court.
Camille Baca is a spokesperson for Metro Court. She says it's one of the few courts in the country with this technology. Here's how it works. When officers have to appear in court, they check in virtually.
From here, officers would select which agency they are with. Officers would verify that this is their correct information. We made up a case scheduled for 9 a.m. this morning in courtroom 300 with Judge Sanchez. It is a bench trial in this particular case and our defendant John Doe. They're able to check in and they receive this notice that they have successfully checked in.
This system helps judges know which officers are checking in and which ones have not. However, it's not used to track which officers are repeatedly missing court.
The liaisons from each of the law enforcement agencies that would appear in the Metropolitan Court, they do have access to our officer check-in system where they are able to input notes such as if an officer is running late, if an officer may be on a call, if an officer is out sick for the day, or whatever it may be.
APD Chief Harold Medina already says he's asked the courts to help them track who's missing court dates, and Baca confirms a local law enforcement agency reached out with that request.
We don't have the details ironed out at this time. So as I mentioned, this is something that the court has agreed to do as a courtesy. It is not the court's responsibility, to get these witnesses to court. And so, as mentioned, this is what the court is doing to help.
Yeah, and something important to note is a lot of times when these officers are appearing at Metro Court, they're appearing for traffic citations, not a lot of DWI citations. Now, in fiscal year of 2023, Vaca says there were nearly 18,000 traffic citations filed in Metro Court, but just less than 2,000 of misdemeanor DWI cases.
And the cases that we found connected to these officers under investigation, there weren't a lot back to back. They were spread out over some years, so it seemed understandable for them to fall through the cracks. All right, Felice, thanks for the explainer there.